The dogs run fast.
The intro just hurts my soul watching Devontae Smith catch the dagger in the Super Bowl. I am your host for this evening, Michael Anthony. Welcome into my dog's favorite podcast, the Dynasty Dogs, brought to you by the Double FU for You. That is the fantasy football universe. My good friend, the leader of the Kevin Patullo Should Have Stayed squad.
Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. What the hell is that? What the hell is even that? Daddy, chill.
Great video, by the way. I love that one. How are you, Rich?
I'm tired. I'm sleepy.
Sleepy?
I just got done pumping Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. Pumping what?
Jeremy Irons.
Oh. I was like, who the fuck?
I don't know who Jeremy Irons is?
No.
He was Alfred in one of the Batmans.
Oh, okay.
I think he was Robert. Okay. I think he's Robert Pattinson's.
I thought you were going to hit me with the Mikey Miss. Google me.
No.
But tonight we have a good episode for you. We got a lot to talk about. We got the rookie positivity meter. Who are we feeling good about for 2026 and beyond for the rookies that just, are now going to be sophomores in the NFL next year? And then we got two scouting reports on two guys that are coming into the league this season. It's going to be a Makai Lemon and Kenyon Sadiq. I know one of those guys Rich is really, really excited about. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into the positivity meter, Rich. Start with the quarterback position. Let's start with the number one overall pick from last year, quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. That is going to be one Cam Ward. How do you feel about Cam Ward on 2026 and beyond?
Well, a lot of it is going to be based off of who the head coach is going to be, depending on if it's a defensive coach or an offensive coach. You know what I mean? He started kind of crappy. He was rough out of the gate, but kind of turned it on as much as he could towards the end. I feel all right with him. I guess, are we doing 1 through 5? I feel about
1 through 5. You are, by the way, allowed to do half points if you'd like. Yeah, half points are accepted.
Oh shit! What about quarter points?
For quarterbacks, quarter points. You can do that.
I'm going to go about a 4, I think.
Okay.
I'm not extremely over the moon just because I don't know what the quarterback's going to be. If you get a guy like, oh my God, yes, that's what I mean. Sorry. If they get the coach like, oh my God, why are you interviewing Arthur Smith again? Is this must be a Groundhog Day for the Titans. But, if you get a guy like Brian Dable or Mike McDaniel, I think they both interviewed for that. I'm sure they would. That could say a lot for him. It could be an offensive-minded guy, or you get a defensive-minded guy, which then you got to put together a staff, see who's going to be who's the OC. I'm assuming that everyone got canned. Is that how that goes? I never even looked into really how that goes. If you can,
usually it is, but I haven't heard I haven't heard anything on whether he is canned or not. The offensive coordinator for it's McCoy. The guy he took over for when they fired Callahan.
The real McCoy?
Yeah. So I don't know if he stayed on the team or not, but I agree with you. He's a 4 for me as well. It did start out slow. It looked really bad in the beginning. Again, the team looked bad. Everything was really bad on the Tennessee Titans. They don't really have a wide receiver out there. We kind of hoped for Calvin Ridley to be something, and then he got hurt.
Right.
He didn't really look good at all. This light keeps turning out on me. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what. Yeah, are you being held at gunpoint? You keep looking over to your side. I'm like, what the hell is
the light keeps just turning off. I guess I don't know how to set if there's a timer to it or
have you tried clapping? Are you clapping?
No. Anyway, now I won't even turn back on.
You're clicking it. Oh my God.
Anyway. I do agree with you, though. I would like to see a head coach, not only an offensive mind, but a guy that will match the level of confidence that Cam Ward has, right? Who has the ultimate confidence in himself, is always very vocal leadership kind of role. I think he needs someone like that to keep the motivation up, right? I think we all need that from time to time. But there are just some insane level throws that this dude is making on a regular basis that only a handful of NFL quarterbacks can make. Even now. So I agree with you. He did finish the season 3,169 yards, 15 TDs, 7 INTs, finished as QB 23, a bridge quarterback 2. But I do think we will see Cam Ward be a perennial QB2, high-end QB2. Maybe we'll have a couple QB1 years where he finishes like 11, 12, somewhere in that range, because he does have the arm talent. I just think they need to build around him some wide receivers.
I see a lot of maybe young Michael Vick in Cam Ward, where the rushing ability and an absolute cannon attached to his arm. But they're in a weird predicament where you need to draft a wide receiver, but you also need to, of course, draft an offensive tackle to cover his ass. You know what I mean? So where do you go from here? Do you draft the lineman first? Do you draft the wide receiver first?
I think they draft the wide receiver first.
I think so too. I wish I could have seen more of Restrepo out there with him, just because he had the rapport with him, and that's got to translate somewhat, especially because you're such a god-awful team. What do you have to lose, really?
Right.
Maybe we see that because you have no one in the wide receiver room. I'm assuming they're going to kind of peter out Calvin Ridley at some point because he's just not it there. He's getting long in the tooth. I'm sure he wants to go somewhere to win. So it'll be interesting to see how they draft. You know what draft pick they have?
They have, I believe, a top 5. I was actually going to pull it up, and I was also going to pull up the free agent wide receivers as well. You have George Pickens is 1. George Pickens, Mike Evans, Alec Pierce. I don't think Mike Evans is going anywhere. Wan'Dale Robinson would be a nice addition if they can get a guy early in the draft.
You got a bunch of guys. Those top 4 guys you said are pretty much 2s that are, besides Pierce, who could be 1s, would go somewhere to be 1s. Obviously, Mike Evans is not going anywhere. I'm taking him out of it. But George Pickens, I could see going to Tennessee on a haul of a deal. That would be kind of an interesting name to watch because you know how I feel about him. Yeah, he wants to be the guy. There's no way he comes. I don't think he comes
good this year in Dallas, and they got a guy in Cam Ward that could get him the football. So
right, I think he wants to go somewhere he's going to be the one, and Tennessee would be a nice spot for him. Alec Pierce is going to get paid somewhere. I don't know if that's exactly Annapolis, but that could be a nice spot for him as well. But I think they have a little bit of change to spend as well, so that could be interesting for them.
Yeah, I would like to see Alec Pierce there. And then they draft one of these guys in the first round. They do have the 4th pick in the draft as of right now. I don't think they move out. I think they need the top end talent right now. I would like to even see them draft like a defensive end. I know that has nothing to do with Cam Ward, but Reuben Bain there with Jeffrey Simmons on the D line would be fucking insane. Next guy we got here, quarterback for the New York Football Giants, who, by the way, have a new head football coach in John Harbaugh. Is going to be 1. Jackson Dart finished the season 2,272 yards, 15 TDs, 5 INTs, then added in 86 rush attempts, 487 yards, and 9 TDs on the ground. QB 16 overall.
With 15 concussions, dude? You forgot
15 concussions, 73 visits to the Blue Medical Tent,
and 12 doggies in the end.
Yeah.
I'm a 7, dude. I love Jackson Dart, man. It sucks that he's on the Giants. I think before his 59 concussions getting hurt, he kind of needs to figure that part out. Sorry, my headphones are being weird. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Now you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. You're back. I thought my headphones died. Wait, talk again.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think Jackson Dart, he kind of needs to figure out the way to slide. Definitely, for sure.
Get out of bounds.
He plays reckless football, but like with reckless abandon. Like he just goes out there. He wants to win the game by any means necessary. I seen something, was it yesterday? Because the Eagles are obviously looking for an OC, and it kind of scared me, made me laugh a little bit. They were like, it said Brian Dabo used Josh Allen and Jackson Dart as battering rams, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Because it's true, dude. He would just run and lower his head. But the thing is, the biggest thing for me with Jackson Dart is a lot of people said he came out of Ole Miss and he was an Ole Miss system quarterback, and I think he completely proved that wrong this year in New York. I'm kind of even more as excited as I can be for the Giants with Malik Neighbors coming back and him and Harbaugh together.
He barely had any time with Malik Neighbors, to be honest with you.
Right. I think what he got week 2, he got hurt. Something like that.
Week 4 or
3,
something like that.
I lost him early. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how that with Cam Scatterbro back there, dude. The Giants are looking good. I hate to say it, but man, they got some exciting players, and Jackson Dart is high on my list.
So for me, I'm a little bit more nervous of Jackson Dart, and it's mostly because of the injury concern stuff. He has to get out of his own way, right? Yeah. It was kind of the feeling we had with Jaden Daniels coming out of college, right? Mm-hmm. And now we're dealing with the injuries with Jaden Daniels this year. Jackson Dart for me is a 3.5. I have him Harbaugh puts him at a 4. The injury stuff puts him at a 3. So I just decided to put him in the middle here at a 3.5. The biggest thing other than, is the injuries is the offensive line in New York is just perennially bad. And they need to build around that. Obviously he can make things happen with his legs that most quarterbacks can't do with bad offensive lines. But again, you also need to be able to protect them. And that's the biggest thing they have to worry about. I would also just 15-5, that's a decent number, touchdown to interception ratio. I don't know, something about the injuries, the lowering the head, it just gives me a little bit more pause, right? Than just saying a 5 out of 5 positive.
Well, I feel like that's got to be something you're like, okay, I got fucked up this year, so I kind of need to. What can I do?
In college though.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man. You gotta learn from this. This is right. This is a big part of his future seasons. Is he's got to be able to smarten up just a little bit, and that's going to be. I think Harbaugh could get the best out of him. We've seen Harbaugh with mobile quarterbacks with Lamar, obviously, but Lamar I think was just immensely talented. There's no, arguing that. He also had Joe Flacco too, who was a pocket passer. So again, he's a guy who can work with quarterbacks. I think it'll be a good marriage between those two. You're right though. It's not great having him in the NFC East. Next guy here, Tyler Shuck, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, who didn't start until week 8, 2,384 yards, 10 TDs, 6 INTs, QB 28 on the season. I'll start with this one. I'm going to give Shuck a 4. He really looked good down the stretch there. He was feeding Chris Olave. I think the Saints with Kellen Moore is a great up and coming team. They have a top 8 pick right now. This one place has them taking Jeremiah Love, the number 1 running back out of Notre Dame.
I've seen that a lot too.
I could see that. I would also like to see them add another wide receiver outside of Chris Olave.
You have to.
But they are looking good. I'm very impressed with Shuck. I was impressed with Shuck coming out of the draft. I think he was a good pocket passer, has all the arm talent in the world. It was just the concussions and the injuries for him throughout his college career that kind of had him fall in the NFL draft last season. So it'll be interesting to see what the Saints look like. I'm impressed with what Kellen Moore has done in year 1 with the Saints, especially at the back end there. And I don't know, I guess maybe they just wanted to, have it be a surprise when they decided to start Tyler Shuck over Spencer Rattler, because I was shocked that they started with Spencer Rattler this season. What do you think of Shuck?
Well, I think I'm like a 3.5-ish, 4. I'm probably right around where you are. Just because he did come out and impress late in the season, there's not a lot to work with in New Orleans in terms of
Kamara too either.
You're right. You got Kamara who's getting long in the tooth, more injury prone. You got Chris Olave who, if he sneezes too hard, he has a concussion. I think he's doing well. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect this much of a impressive season from him. I kind of thought they were going to go with Spencer Rattler the whole year. And then they kind of transitioned mid-year. It was either he was going to sit a year or start the whole year. And they kind of said neither and brought him in halfway through. So I'm excited to see what he looks like. I guess another, 10, how many games he starts? 7, so another 10 games in to see a full season from him.
10.
What?
Week 8, about nine games.
Okay. To see, a full season from him, see how he responds. I guess he's a different situation where he's going into his second year, but hasn't played a full season yet. So
Sure.
let's kind of see what we've got. The running back pick is that's such a dumb pick. I think we're going to talk about the guy next who was a dumb pick by a team, and teams can't make that dumb pick when you see the shiny new car on the corner. You can't go and buy it. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you need to invest in that part. Getting him a wide receiver would make a plethora of sense, much more than a Jeremiah Love pick for me. I think you can find a running back on the open market if really need be.
I think
you're
there's
not
a free agent running back class too, if I'm not mistaken. It's I think Ken Walker is a free agent.
Rico Dowdle's a fucking free agent who pretty much
Brees
solidified
Hall, Walker, ETN,
Mm-hmm.
Javante. I think Javante's Rico, Kenneth Gainwell, J.K. Dobbins. There's a good amount.
Yeah,
Rashad White.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that I think are like fringe one guys who have like the potential to be the number one, especially in New Orleans where Kamara's going to be. He's got to be at the end of his rope soon. So I'd go wide receiver with him to grow with. But yeah, I'm at like a 3.5, 4 for him.
Would you give up a late 2026 late 1 for Tyler Shuck right now?
No.
I would. I would give up the 111, 112.
I mean, is tight end premium?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I think
sorry.
If I can get Sadiq at the end of 1.
I don't know if you're going to at this point.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll get into
the way
that.
it's looking.
Yeah,
the way it's looking. I don't, especially with how the class is starting to kind of build out here. It's not really the strongest class that we have.
You're taking away all of our talking points for the freaking draft. That's what I was going to say. This draft freaking blows. There's no one in it besides Sadiq.
I mean, we'll talk about the other wide receiver tonight that I'm excited about. But yeah, I would give up the 111, 110, even, especially to get a quarterback. Would you rather have Shuck or Mendoza? I guess is actually the question. Mendoza's going to go earlier than this, obviously, but looking at the two you have, what's that?
I'd go Mendoza probably.
Yeah, I think I would.
He's going to end up in a way better situation. Way better situation offensively.
Mm-hmm. He's going to end
in terms of weapons.
Mm-hmm. With Genty. And speaking of Genty, let's go right to him. Ashton Genty, 266 carries, 975 yards, 5 TDs, 3.7 yards per carry, 55 receptions, 346 yards, 5 TDs. He finished as RB13, which is kind of surprising because it wasn't like the best year possible for the Raiders, obviously. I think Chip Kelly had a lot to do with that. We know about that in Philadelphia. But this kind of reminds me of the Bijan Robinson rookie season where it was good, but it was quietly really good, if that makes sense, where he was on a bad football team. He kind of made things happen. It was like, oh, was he really worth the 101 in that draft class? And now look at him, right? He's just absolutely taken off these past 2 seasons. I think we have that in Ashton Genty, and I have him as a 4 right now on the positivity meter. The only reason I didn't say a 5 is because that Raiders offensive line is just absolutely atrocious. Absolutely just getting crushed before he could even get through the hole. I do have some concerns there. I think they're going to draft up, obviously, Mendoza, so that'll be a positive for him as well. Just what do you think of Ashton Genty so far?
I'm like at it like a 3, 2, 3.
Really?
I'm looking back.
I tried 2.5.
Right. I don't think he was worth the 1-1 as of right now. Just because the way the team's set up, you know what I mean? You were saying, is it the Bijan season and how he came out of college? He came out of a big school playing power teams. You know, Ashton Genty, he blew up Appalachian State or those types of schools at Boise State, but like really when he plays against big teams, it's like kind of pedestrian. You're playing for a team who makes terrible decisions, front end decisions. They're going to make a terrible decision this year, I think, and take Mendoza. I don't think they should take Mendoza. I think they should draft, or they should trade out of that draft pick, get more draft picks, because you're taking the best quarterback available. That's not really the best quarterback. You know what I mean? Like next year's class is probably going to be a lot better. Dante Moore's probably going to come out.
I think Mendoza's better than Moore.
They're close, I think, but you're going to have more of an option. God, people are going to be throwing their fucking bras on stage to get Arch Manning. I know that's he's got a lot riding this season, but you're going to have more
did you
options.
see? Speaking of Arch, real quick, did you see they got that Auburn wide receiver Cam Coleman, the 5-star? That's
I didn't see
huge.
that. That's gonna be a make or break, dude. And that's gonna be the thing. It's like you take so you give him a 5-star recruit wide receiver, he's gonna blow up next year. Mm-hmm. So now you're just taking the quarterback because you feel like you have a gun to your head to take the quarterback, where you still have Geno Smith under, whether he sucked or not, you have him under contract for another 2 or 3 years. You paid him a lot of money. And he fucking, let's be honest, he sucks. Do you want him learning behind you want Mendoza learning Geno Smith's all of his bad habits? You know what I mean? Don't take the quarterback because you need to take the quarterback. And that circle back, if you trade down, get a lineman and build a line so you can have a strong running game. Don't take the quarterback who's going to be on his ass. You've seen what happened. We've seen that with Chicago and Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams last
year. They drafted Caleb Williams, and he was on his ass 70 times. And then they went out and took 4 new linemen. Now you have to build in between the trenches or you're going to suck. And that's my big thing. No way. My brother just texted me. Sorry, Bo Bichette to the Mets. That's fucking awful.
How many tweets today are you going to post about that? Because I know you were really upset that it hasn't really happened as of right now. Obviously, it's not going to happen because now he's with the Mets, right?
Wow. Yeah, apparently.
But I think you are underrating Mendoza a little bit. I'm excited to see what the Raiders do as a play caller, as a coach, as an offensive coordinator. That could make or break a QB. But you did mention, obviously, building around Caleb Williams. They did it this second season. Second season. So I don't mind if they do that, if they take Mendoza and then they start building in the offensive line this year, right? Or next year, like they did with Caleb. I could see that happening for the Raiders. But like you mentioned, the Raiders are kind of a direct organization as a whole. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Let's move on to the next running back here. Amari Hampton of the Los Angeles Chargers. 124 attempts, 545 yards, 4 TDs, 32 receptions, 192 yards, 1 TD. Finished as RB 33. Obviously had some injuries in there. We'll start with you, Rich. Where are you at with Hampton?
Dude, he came out on fire, dude. I'm like a 4 on him. He came out like a man on fire, man possessed, got hurt, which sucks. But I think he's kind of lined himself up for a strong sophomore season. He's definitely a guy I'm like looking forward to watching. Like I said in like last year, I don't think Genty and Hampton were far off, and I think some can argue that Hampton is better than Genty at this point. If you had a full season, we definitely think that would have happened. So yeah, I'm about a 4 or 5, 4.5.
I'm at a 5 for Hampton. And that's because we didn't even see this offensive line at full strength. They had Joe Alt was out. They had Rashawn Slater out. Makai Becton was in and out of the line. This offensive line was absolutely atrocious, and it was supposed to be the focal point of that offense, the strongest point of that offense. And we saw Amari Hampton, and by the way, Kamami Vidal, who was a very solid backup.
He filled in nicely.
Yeah, he did. So I think when Hampton's fully healthy and this offensive line is fully healthy, I really believe in this offense going forward. I mean, look, they drafted him in the first round for a reason. So I also agree. I had Hampton super close to Ashton Genty. He was my RB2 pretty easily. I believe in this offense going forward. And I think they have a whole lot of pieces that we could be pretty confident about with the Chargers. They just need everybody healthy at the same fucking time. They don't need Herbert with a broken hand. They don't need Hampton with a broken foot. They got all this other shit happening. Najee Harris's orbital bone getting ruptured. So that was it's going to be interesting to see what the Chargers look like next season with a full healthy squad going into the regular season. So we're both in agreement. We're both pretty high on Hampton. Do you have Hampton ahead of Genty in your rankings, or are you just kind of like waiting it out?
I have Hampton ahead of him.
I have Hampton one spot behind him, but it's just I want to see how things play out this offseason. It could change, right? It absolutely could change this offseason and when it starts next year. Next guy here, I think this one's pretty easy. Travion Henderson, running back for the New England Patriots, 180 carries, 911 yards, 9 TDs, 35 receptions, 221 yards, 1 TD, RB21 for the year. I'm at a 5-5 for Travion Henderson. He really got going when Ramondre went down. I think he's taken over the starting spot from Ramondre, or he will next year. I think they're going to kind of make it 50-50 going into, because they're still in the playoffs, right? So they're going to let Ramondre still get his workload. I think Travion is an explosive playmaker, right? He's in that Jahmyr Gibbs ilk, but he's not like Jahmyr. Don't get that twisted. They're completely different. I think this guy could easily be a top 7 or 8 dude as soon as Ramondre's gone. I think he can fill in the bulk of the carries. He's a great pass protector, a great pass catcher. Just everything Travion Henderson does just screams success for a fantasy football running back. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm at a 5. I think once Ramondre Stevenson gets out of the way and they get a secondary running back to kind of be the complement to Henderson, I think it's wheels up for him. He was very impressive this year. I think Stevenson took away a lot of his carries. But I think once he's kind of out of the way and he's the legit number 1, we're gonna see a lot of fireworks there.
For sure. Let's get into his Ohio State teammate, who is now with the Cleveland Browns, Kenyon Sadiq, who started out really hot after, not having an offseason, not having anything with the suspensions and everything like that. 230 carries, 827 yards, 7 TDs, 26 receptions, 71 yards, RB 24 for the season. Where are you at with Judkins?
He was impressive too. I mean, he was injured, but
that leg injury is fucking gruesome now.
Yeah, that's what scares me. I'm about probably at like a 3.5.
I'm at a 3.5.
Just because of the injuries, dude. It's like that's scary, especially for a running back that you don't have any really wide receivers, so you're gonna use him a lot. I know they got Fannin at tight end, but they're gonna use him a lot.
I completely agree with you. I'm at a 3.5, more or less because of the injuries. I do think, I don't know what Cleveland does. I am semi-surprised they fired Kevin Stefanski, right? 2-time coach of the year. Good coach. I think maybe they just needed a change. It is what it is. I don't know what they're doing at quarterback. I think Shador should be the guy, but I'm hearing Deshaun Watson might be the guy. I think that's the wrong decision. But if Kenyon Judkins is healthy, he's a really solid running back. Really started out hot, kind of faltered a little bit as the Cleveland offense itself started to falter. I do believe in the player. Like I said, 3.5 feels safe just because of the injury concern. It could take him a little bit to get back to where he was. But let's get into the next guy here. And that was the rookie TD leader for this season. Had the most TDs for a rookie. That is going to be R.J. Harvey, running back for the Denver Broncos. 146 carries, 540 yards, 7 TDs, 3.7 average, 47 receptions, 356 yards, 5 TDs, RB 18 on the season. Rich, where are you at with Harvey?
About a 4 for him. I think, he getting what's his name out of the way. J.K. Dobbins with his injury again. It kind of is leading the room for him now. He's going to be the RB1. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run the ball. So he looks like a kind of a Swiss Army knife kind of guy that I wasn't as high on, but now that the cards are falling where they are, he's looking good.
Yeah, the biggest thing for him is he's got to get better vision, and I think as a rookie who wasn't really intended to be the starter right out of the gate, at any point during the season with the J.K. Dobbins injury. I think he'll get better, and I think we saw him get better throughout the season. I just think the more he learns – I'm at a 4.5, by the way. Okay. The more he gets used to the NFL game, the better he's going to be. It usually takes these electric guys a little bit to get going because they have the agility, the speed, the quickness. It's just something they have to adjust to the NFL game to match that speed. I just think he's a prominent pass catcher, and Bo Nix looks for him, especially in the red zone, which is everybody's big thing about him this offseason was, could he be a red zone guy because he's small, blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of his touchdowns were coming out of that fucking red zone, whether it was a run or a quick pass. I am very impressed with R.J. Harvey. I was high on R.J. Harvey anyway, so this isn't super surprising that I'm at a 4.5. Would you rather – I know this – I'm going to ask you this question because I know you're high on this guy as well. Would you rather have R.J. Harvey or Chase Brown for Dynasty?
I traded Chase Brown, so I'd go R.J. Harvey just because it was like his Swiss Army knife ability, catching the ball and being able to run at the same time.
I agree with you on that. Do you think it's possible that RJ they bring in another running back, kind of like they did with J.K. Dobbins for RJ Harvey? I could see that.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You got to be kind of like what they need to do in New England, bring in a guy who's kind of like a lesser role player. Give the guy a breather. You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure. Let's get into your guy here, Cam Scattaboo. 101 carries, 410 yards, 5 TDs, 24 receptions, 207 yards, 2 TDs, finishes RB35. Obviously did get injured for the season. I'll start this one out. I'm at a 4. He showed me something this year. I wasn't 100% on him because I didn't think he had the lateral movement. I still think it's not great, but it looked better than I imagined this season for him. The biggest thing for him, again, is the same thing for Jackson Dart, is just fucking, don't take these mega hits. Don't always try to truck everybody over, right? He had injuries throughout the season, kind of played through them. Obviously, it ended the way it did. It's going to be interesting to see. Would you rather have Scattaboo or Harvey, by the way? I think you're going to say that. I'll take Harvey, but I can't argue against it because I do think he's right now a better in between the tackles runner than Harvey is. So I can't argue with you there. It'll be interesting to see what he looks like with Harbaugh. Harbaugh's had these power backs before, obviously, Derrick Henry, Gus Edwards, these kind of guys. And they've had success fantasy-wise. And I think Cam Scattaboo is probably a better pass catcher than at least Gus Edwards. I don't know about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's just a stud all the way around. Where are you at with Scat? A 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30?
If I had more hands, dude, I'm going to 5, 10, 15. Yeah, dude, I think he just runs like an absolute bulldozer, and I love it. I love everything about it, dude. He doesn't stop. He doesn't have the fucking 4.3 speed, but he'll make you feel every single hit, dude. And if it wasn't for that
he's
crazy,
just a big dummy.
Injury,
he just reminds me just like a big idiot.
Listen, I never thought of a football player as a brain surgeon.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
So you're at a 5. Okay. I could see it. I'm at a 4. I'm a little bit lower, but not far off. Let's go with 1. Tet McMillan. Wow. 70 receptions, 1,014 yards, 7 TDs, was wide receiver 15 in his rookie season. I'll start this one off. He's a 5 out of 5 for me. It started out a little weird for him. He wasn't getting a ton of separation. And then, as midseason hit, this past game against the Rams, he really kind of stood out. What did he have this past game? Let me look at that. I think they have a stud in Tet McMillan. I was very impressed with what I saw from him. He just looks like a bully out there, kind of more than I expected because he kind of wasn't. I'm not going to say he was soft or anything by that stretch of the imagination.
No.
He was just not this Mike Evans type. So it'll be interesting to see. What are you at with Tet McMillan?
I'm at a 5 too, dude. I think he solidified himself as the number 1 there. Just his playmaking ability is ridiculous. He looked really good with, Bryce Young kind of turning the corner. They made the playoffs. They just need to build on that. And yeah, the number 1 guy there, I think they kind of finally hit. I know Leggett was supposed to be the guy, but he was a stretch pick where they took him. He'd be a nice complimentary piece along with Coker. They got a nice room with Tet leading the way.
He was 5 for 81 against the Rams, and that's against the Rams. Okay. That's solid. I'll take that any day. Let's go to the next guy here, Emeka Egbuka. The fall from Emeka Egbuka needs to be studied. He really started out hot out the gate. He was the Emeka takeover for a while. 63 receptions, 938 yards, 6 TDs, finished as wide receiver 20. Rich, where are you at with Emeka?
Man, he like a 3.
I'm at a 3
he fell off the face of the earth, dude. He couldn't figure out how to fit in once the other guys came back, once Godwin and Evans came back. So it was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
This is a big show me season next season.
Yeah, McMillan got healthy, Godwin got healthy, Evans got healthy. But then again, the Tampa Bay offense in itself kind of felt like it took a step back all of a sudden when it kind of got healthy, which is weird.
Yeah.
Bucky came back. They kind of weren't the same team. I'm not sure what happened.
It was
there.
Weird. They lost a playoff spot. It was like,
real
weird.
It was a weird season for them. I'm at a 3 though, because I still believe in the talent of the player. It's just that wide receiver room with Evans, Godwin, and McMillan there is more. And Tez Johnson showed flashes this season too. It'll be interesting to see what that room kind of shakes out to be. I think Mike Evans is back for one more year, especially with the way this season went with not having 1,000 yards. I think Godwin, I think his contract was 3 years, and I think they gave that to him last season, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. There was just too much, Emeka Egbuka's the next, top 12 guy and this, that, and the third. I wasn't there with him at all. Yeah, they gave him that contract actually this past offseason, 3 years, $66 million for Godwin. So he's locked in there for a while. But yeah, I never bought into that much hype with Emeka. He was, after the draft, my wide receiver 1. But again, I didn't put him as a top 12 guy. He was more of an 18 to 20 kind of guy for me. And I think that's where we're going to see him once this wide receiver room kind of clears out. But let's talk about a guy here, Rich, who did the polar opposite of Emeka Egbuka. Started out really slow and then kind of has really picked up towards the end of this season here. That's going to be one Luther Burden, wide receiver for the Chicago Bears, 47 receptions, 652 yards, 2 TDs, finishes wide receiver 48. Rich, where are you at with Burden? Is he a burden to you?
I think I'm like at a 2, dude, 2 or 3.
Whoa.
Man, he's like I think he's buried in that room, dude. I think he's buried. They got way too many.
There's a lot of people that think he's the wide receiver 1 in Chicago.
Yeah, I would take Adunze over him. I think I would.
There with that too.
I mean, I always like DJ Moore. I always think he got a raw deal. But I think DJ Moore's like the steady Eddie. So even if I think he'd be the 1 or 2. I think it's 1 or 2 come down to Adunze and Burden Moore with him being the slot guy. And then you got Loveland? That's what I'm saying. You got Loveland. So there's way too many mouths to feed. It's kind of like one of those things when the Eagles had all those guys and the Patriots had all those guys. It's like I kind of stay away from players there because you got so many guys you don't know where you're going to get the points from.
Mm-hmm. I'm at a 4 for Luther Burden because we got to think of this as a dynasty thing as well. I think I think DJ Moore will be here. I would imagine for at least another year. I don't think they trade him. I think this team right now is built for success. Now, I mean, look at them, right? They're about to take on the. It wouldn't shock me if they upset the Rams, to be honest with you, in this game.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice. But I think the tandem of Rome and Luther Burden and Loveland, the trio, is a very good team to have. And I think Burden does fill in that slot role for them. And by the way, we can't just forget about what Rome was doing before he fucking fractured his foot in the middle of the season, right? The dude was absolutely taking over games. So I'm not ready to put Burden up front of Rome. And I have him like on par with Colson Loveland. So he's like my 2-3 guy right now.
Okay.
But DJ Moore makes those big plays at the end of the game where they need him. So you can't forget about him either. And then they got Monangai. That team is fucking fun.
Monangai's a fun guy, dude. Monangai's a fun guy to watch.
He is. So yeah, we both, you're a little lower on Burden. I was high on Burden, so I was very excited for him. Let's go into the next guy here. Complete, utter disappointing season. Did kind of blow up this past game and had his first touchdown of the season. It's going to be one Matthew Golden. Not a golden opportunity for him this year. 29 receptions, 361 yards, no TDs in the regular season. Finishes wide receiver 88. Rich, Golden, where you at?
Dude, he's kind of like showed flashes at the end, but like, holy shit, he was non-existent during half the fucking season. I'm probably
more than half.
Yeah, like maybe a 2. He's like, oh my God, he's like buried. He is buried. Talk about a guy who's buried in the depth chart. He's not the guy I thought I thought he was going to come in and be the guy, and he has just not been it. You've got guys like Quavion Wicks and taking catches away from him at this point. But whatever his name is, at this point, taking catches away from him, it's like, oof. He's got a lot to prove next season.
I'd move him. Well, Romeo Dobbs is a free agent this year, so it'll be interesting to see what the Packers do with him. I like Dobbs. Jaden Reed had an injured season, and Golden didn't really produce. Dontavian Wicks, I think he stinks. Tucker Kraft is obviously the best wide receiver there as of right now. I thought Golden was over. I'm at a 2 as well, but I thought Golden was overdrafted where he was taken in the first place. First round pick was fine ish. I kind of had him more as an early second, kind of like where Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris was better. I just think he wasn't the dominant wide receiver that they wanted him to be in this room, right? I don't think he fit that mold. I'm very interested to see what this Packers offense looks like next year. I think Dobbs is gone. I think he's going to get paid somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Golden, Reed, and Dontavian Wicks might be a free agent too, if I'm not mistaken. So very interesting. I don't know if he's a wide receiver 1. I think he's like a borderline 3 flex option for our fantasy teams.
Right.
I have no shares of him in Dynasty. I kind of rather had taken my shots on.
I traded him for a 2.
Yeah, in our 1 QB league. Yeah, I remember that a mid 2, if I'm not mistaken. So that's fine. I took the Luther Burdens. I took the Trey Harris's, which Trey Harris wasn't that much better, but he's in a better situation, in my opinion, than Golden is. So it'll be interesting to see. Next guy here, your guy, Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Houston Texans, 41 receptions, 525 yards, 6 TDs, wide receiver 51. Had a decent season, right? Not terrible.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I'm probably about a 4. I think more or less it's the quarterback play. CJ Stroud has looked fucking. Ugh.
No, he's picked it up.
Yeah, I mean, but he's like, dude, he's like up and down, dude. You don't know what you're getting with him. You go from one game to the next, and especially if you base it off his rookie season where he was lighting it up, and now it's like up and down. He's like that Katy Perry song, dude. He's hot, then he's cold. He's yes, then he's no. I don't know what you're going to get from him, dude, and that kind of sucks. But I think he's got a bright future. They've really he's a young wide receiver along with Noel on the other side. So it's
Nico
kind
Collins
of it's
all young.
Yeah, Nico Collins. Yeah, I forgot about him. He's not playing tomorrow, I don't think.
That's what I heard. Yeah, he's questionable.
So they got a nice thing that they could put together there. It's just the quarterback play is kind of sketching me, dude. It's like
I think he looked better down the stretch, Stroud, than he started at this. The offense looks all right.
Yeah, it's just he's just a. You never know what you're gonna get. Yeah, they do. They do in the worst way. I mean, Nick Chubb and fucking Woody the Lawman ain't doing it.
Woody the Lawman.
What about Joe Mixon? They were just like, actually, nah, it's okay.
No, Joe Mixon said, actually, nah, my foot hurts a lot.
What happened? He's like, yeah, we don't know when he's coming back. It seemed like it was like a couple week injury. I'm like, yeah, okay, so no, all right, not this year, got it.
Yeah, I'm at a 2.5, 3 with Jaden Higgins. I like the talent. I just don't know how he fits into this offense with Nico Collins. I've been a guy who preferred Jalen Noel over him anyway, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I do believe he could be a guy who's, again, in the same ilk as a Golden, maybe a little bit better, who probably is best a wide receiver 3 for fantasy. That's terrible, right? Especially where you got him in mid-second, mid to early second, depending in your drafts. Let's get into the funnest part of this class, the tight ends. Mm-hmm. Tyler Warren, 76 receptions, 814 yards, 4 TDs, tight end 7 overall. Tyler Warren, I have him at a 4.5. I wanted to put him at a 5, but now who's the quarterback, right? Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be Daniel Jones. I don't know. That leg injury again was gruesome. And we saw Daniel Jones absolutely pepper him with targets and receptions. They gave him everything we thought he was going to get in the NFL. I was very happy with him. He's still a top 4-5 guy for me in my tight end rankings. Where are you at with Tyler Warren?
I'm at a 5 with him. I think it's going to be ultimately Daniel Jones for all the reasons you said. He was his guy. He peppered him with the targets. He brought in damn near everything, and with Alec Pierce, I think ultimately leaving to get paid somewhere, he's going to be the guy there, just bringing in the catches for him, being the number 1 guy. So I'm at a 5. I which is funny because it was like I wasn't as high on him out of the draft. I had Loveland ahead of him. But I'm at a 5 with him, dude. He looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this offense plays out. I think Steichen finally got the chance to really show what he was capable of this offseason with bringing in Daniel Jones, having him be a reliable quarterback. So we're interested to see what we got here. But let's get into that guy you had tight end 1. That's going to be Colston Loveland, Chicago Bears, 58 receptions, 713 yards, 6 TDs, finished as tight end 14. But Rich, I'm going to be honest with you. I have him at a 5. The this playoff game, 8 receptions, 137 yards. I think he had the 2-point conversion, if I'm not mistaken, too, in that game that they needed desperately. Before that game, I had Warren ahead of him in my rankings, and I don't know if I can do that anymore, right? I'm very torn because Warren gives you more, right? More opportunity for yards after catch. I don't think that's Loveland's biggest thing, but he's done it well this season. He impressed me more than I thought he was going to. I just think he could be a guy who is like your Kelseys, your who's Kittles, your stuff like that. So I'm very surprised with how good he's looked, especially in the playoffs this past game. I'm at a 5 for him. Where are you at?
I'm going to copy and paste that 5, dude. He just looks like the guy I thought he was going to be. He's fitting in like a glove there with Caleb Williams. I think he did have that 2-point conversion at the end, but I did have him over Warren. I don't know how I feel now just because, like I said, Warren being the guy there, and there's a ton of mouths to feed in Chicago. But when he does get the ball, he makes the plays.
They've had that a lot of mouths to feed in Chicago the whole season. Again, it was kind of a slower start for Loveland, but he's really picked it up here when they needed him with the Odunze injury. I was very more impressed with him than I thought I was going to be. But let's go into probably the most impressive tight end of this class, who was picked later than both of those guys. And that's going to be one Harold Fannin Jr., tight end for the Cleveland Browns, 71 receptions, 731 yards, 6 TDs, tight end 5 for the year. I had him as my tight end 2 going into the draft, and then obviously he got drafted later than Loveland and Warren, so I dropped him down to 3. But Rich, I should have stuck to my guns. This motherfucking guy can play. I am at a 5 out of 5. I think I have him right behind Loveland now because of the Cleveland Browns. It's kind of hard to put anybody on the Cleveland Browns ahead of anybody in any rankings just because they're a big question mark going forward.
Yeah.
Right. He showed he could be the guy in that offense. Jerry Jeudy sucked. Cedric Tillman never was healthy. The running game was a mixed bag with the injuries and everything like that. Harold Fannin was that dude. He's at a 5 out of 5 for me. Where are you at?
I'm at a 1. I'm at a 5, dude. He's a 20-year-old kid. He's coming out and playing like a grown man. He really.
You see how many fucking people it takes to tackle him in one play?
Dude, I
really
insane.
wanted him here so bad.
So did I. I know that's one of the things that we're missing this year, especially with Goddard going to be gone. And I was saying, this tight end class last year, there was a million of them to take. But, dude, he looks like a grown man out there. He looks like a grown man playing a child's game. And once he gets an actual quarterback back there, dude, I think it's wheels up.
The crazy thing is, he's done it with all 3 quarterbacks that they had this year.
I guess it really doesn't matter who the fuck's back there slinging it, but like they don't have an actual offense. They've been a joke of a team for the past 33 years, at least as much as I can remember. It's just once you establish a quarterback and establish the play game that you want, he's going to be unstoppable, I think.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Size be damned. That was the biggest thing about him. Oh, he's too small. Oh, he's blah, blah, blah. He played at Bowling Green. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that anymore.
Right.
Last guy here started out, shot out of a cannon, kind of like a Mecca Ibuka, but kind of fell off. This is going to be tight end for the Los Angeles Chargers, Oronde Gadsden, 49 receptions, 644 yards, 3 TDs, tight end 17 for the year. Rich, I'm at a 3.5. I still feel pretty confident in the vertical playmaking ability that he brings. It's just that, again, that's another team with a lot of mouths to feed. We had the emergence of Quentin Johnson. That was kind of a mixed bag as well, as much as that was an emergence. Ladd McConkey kind of here and there and everywhere, and then Keenan Allen, and then the running game. So there's a lot of mouths to feed. It's got to kind of be sorted out. I think Keenan Allen is retiring. I think he's done. He looked okay. I just don't think he needs to prove anything anymore.
Yeah, right? He's right.
I'm very interested to see. And I like Gadsden. I think he was one of those guys I was saying last year where, Loveland and Warren went really early in the draft, and then you could get the Fannins, the Gadsdens, the Arroyos, those kind of guys later in the draft. And a lot of those guys, except for Arroyo, paid out because I'm very interested to see what Gadsden looks like. What do you think?
I'm with you too. He was a guy who I'm at like a probably 3.5 with him. He's a guy I was like pleasantly surprised with. He was a guy that I had no expectations for this year. A guy I kind of almost thought was going to redshirt this year and kind of take off either next year or the following. But he kind of came in and made the most of his opportunity. He's
a wide
that,
receiver playing tight end.
right. He's seen that, guys were going down and they really didn't have much competition in the tight end room. So he came in and sees his opportunity. Now it's his room to lose. So I think I'm at a 3 to 3.5, but looking upwards, not downwards. If that makes any sense, looking towards more of a 4. He was been a pleasant surprise. Like I said, I definitely thought he was going to be a redshirt guy. Kind of a take it in season, but he's been taking advantage of his opportunities.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Very interested to see how this Chargers offense, again, like we mentioned several times with Murray and Hampton, when they are all good to go. But Rich, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
Oh boy.
We'll start with your guy first. We're going to talk about 2 scouting reports here. And the first one is going to be Kenyon Sadiq, tight end for the Oregon Ducks. He is right now projected a first-round pick this past season, 46 receptions, 531 yards, 8 TDs for his career. I have it right here. He had 82 receptions, 892 yards, and 11 TDs. Solid numbers. As a third-year player, he's a junior going to declare early. Rich, or let me get this out real quick. Played 57% in the slot, 10% out wide, 28.8 in line. So he's kind of a guy who could play everywhere. So it's interesting. He has good alignment. So I'm interested to see what you think of Kenyon Sadiq here. Let's start with your thoughts.
So 6'3", 245, number 1 ranked tight end in the class. He's the 10th overall ranking in this wide receiver in this draft class. Ran a 4.55 40. But back to the 10th overall in this draft class, that has to tell you that this draft class is awful. Being a tight end and being the 10th best player in the fucking draft class is like, I think that says something. But he's got explosive playmaking ability. He's an incredible athlete. Creates separations. Hey, he's got the hands of a wide receiver. Plus, he has hell of a control of the ball. He has a vast route tree, and he's a willing blocker. Not saying he's the best, but you see that a lot of guys coming out of college being willing blockers, not like really elite blockers. And for his weaknesses, the one main thing that sticks out to me, besides subpar run blocking, crowded offense he was in, a lot of people say he's undersized, which I really don't understand. 6'3", 245 to me is a mountain of a man. But really, if you look at guys, I looked up a few, like the pro comps I have for him in Kittle and Laporta, or my pro comps for him. But, Laporta's exactly the same measurable, 6'3", 245, and Kelsey's only 5 pounds bigger than him. So is really the difference between being undersized 5 pounds? Mm-hmm. Like I find that's like a weird caveat for people to try to find something wrong with someone. They're like, well, he's undersized. 6'3", 245, 5 pounds is different. So if he puts 5 pounds of fat on, is he not undersized anymore? Sure. So I don't really agree with that. Subpar blocking I have or run blocking I have for him, but these are all things that you can fix. If they really think he's undersized, you could put on some weight, but he's a guy who I'm really, 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 really praying, hands and knees praying that he falls to 23. So then when he falls to 23 and then the Eagles take a lineman, I could be like, okay, and be sad, fuck me, and be sad again. But he's a guy I kind of gravitate towards the tight ends for whatever reason. But a guy I'm really excited to see where he lands.
Yeah, let me show you what I think Sadiq looks like with his tapered sleeves. The dude is a muscular, like he's a bulky dude. The tapered sleeve sticks out to me right away as soon as
that's what I look like with tapered sleeves.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But again, like we mentioned, muscular frame. I do think he's a very aggressive blocker in line, blocker in the middle of the field. It's just he doesn't. I think the smaller size kind of plays to a bit of a weakness there, right? He kind of can be decided by these bigger linebackers, bigger defensive linemen. So I do think that's kind of what is the issue there. And that's why they say undersized. But again, the undersized tight end is kind of starting to take over, especially from a pass catching aspect, right?
But like guys are all going to be undersized compared to a 6'5", fucking 285 defensive
Oh, I
end.
know.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Like
I
that's
agree.
just like it's. I feel like it's unfair to be like, yeah, this guy who's going to go out and catch the ball is also
You also need to be
undersized.
dependent on the block too.
Yeah, but
Especially
like you can't be expected to hold a full fucking block with a defensive end who's 6'6", 280. You know what I mean? Like I feel like anyone would have an issue that's not an offensive lineman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I really liked his athleticism, good acceleration, good movement skills. Really tough to bring down with the ball in his hand because he is just more athletic than everybody else. I will say he trusts his athleticism too much in his route running. That makes sense. There's not a whole lot of nuance. There's a bit of choppy footwork when he tries to stop, start,
he counts on him being able to go up and get the ball.
Yeah, so he just needs to kind of like slow down a little bit, if that makes sense. Kind of think about what's happening as a route runner instead of just trying to be, the athletic freak that he was in college, which again could absolutely work in the NFL. It's just he needs to be more consistent as a route runner week in and week out. I do think you're right, though. He is going to be a first-round pick in this NFL draft. I would like to see him in Philadelphia, obviously. I do think
we need it.
Tampa Bay would be a good addition, and they have pick 15. Let's see. Where's this? Oh, Carolina right now is where I'm seeing a pick.
Nah, 19. Dude, Sanders, my boy Sanders.
That would be a good spot for him. And then I wouldn't mind a place like where's this? Tampa Bay, I think, is going to be my number one spot if it wasn't Philadelphia, especially for fantasy points.
Seattle.
They have Arroyo. They had AJ Barner break out a little bit too. So they have two guys there. Carolina would be interesting too, to be honest with you. So again, we really like Kenyon Sadiq. I just am a little worried about the size, but I'm not super worried about it because of what we've seen. How Fannin was undersized, Sam Laporta was undersized. All these guys were fine. Right?
What is the right size, Paul?
I have no idea anymore.
Hey yo.
Yeah, I don't even know for a tight end anymore.
I need that to be clipped. That needs to be a soundbite.
What is the right size? Not us. But yeah, I just think he's an athletic freak. I think he's going to crush the combine. I'm interested to see some of the footwork drills, how he looks. He probably will do like the 3-cone stuff. Yeah, I know you're stuck on that now.
I know. No, between that and like how you're like he's got choppy footwork. Did you ever see the video clip of Drewski doing the?
Oh yeah,
that shit fucking cracks me up. That's what I thought
of. Let's get into the next guy here. Oh, by the way, Rich and I will bring back the player profile cards that we did last year. It's just a lot going on right now in our personal lives.
My kids have been sick for a fucking month and a half, and then I've been sick. It's like, oh my God.
And I'm in the process of getting ready to move and all this other stuff that's happening. So a lot going on. We will get to it eventually. It's just going to take us a little bit of time. But let's get into the wide receiver here. We mentioned size concerns. He's definitely got some size concerns here. But let's talk Makai Lemon. And Rich, let's go for some of the stats first before I get into my breakdown here. I apologize. This past season, 78 receptions, 1,124 yards, 10 TDs. Was the Biletnikoff winner this season in college football, so that's huge, right? USC wide receiver, 5'11", 195. Career stats, I have them right here, are 137 receptions, 2,008 yards, 14 TDs. Really came on strong his sophomore and junior season. He just had his junior season, so he's a third-year player coming out. I will be honest with you, Rich. I will be surprised if he is 5'11", 195. I'm going to be around the range of 5'10", 190, I think, which is not a huge difference. I just think he looks a little smaller. But the first thing I notice about Makai Lemon, as soon as you hit play on the tape, is intensity. He takes one of the big 3 I's that Kurt Angle has, intensity, to an extreme. He attacks everything, attacks his blocking, attacks everything in his routes. He is just a Tasmanian devil as a wide receiver. And I am very interested to see. He's going to be, him and Carnell Tate right now are fighting neck and neck for my wide receiver 1. And It's just the size. Again, I think he's
Yeah.
going to be closer to 5'10", 190, but
That's a
you
slot
can't.
guy.
He is a slot guy. That's also something I should have mentioned. He did play primarily in the slot, but he does have. I do think he could be a Z wide receiver who can play off the line of scrimmage. Hands first, always great acceleration, twitchy route runner, great body control, plays bigger than his size. And that's the thing we got to remember, even with these smaller dudes, that they can still win. It's just going to be harder. Right? He's got all the athletic tools. He's got the mentality. As soon as you hit play, you see it.
Right.
The twitchiness, the savviness, he's just got all of it. It's just when I watched this Notre Dame tape, and it bothered me so much that I had to Google who it was. Number 15 for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Leonard Moore, 6'2", 195. Rich, when I tell you he had a colleague grip on Makai Lemon, it was rough. Like every time Makai tried to get off the line, he was getting jammed. But this dude's just got longer arms, stronger. He's just able to bully him around. And then I looked in. This kid had like 1,000,007 awards for Notre Dame this year. So it's going to be a good corner coming out, by the way. So Leonard Moore, be on the lookout for him. But he was giving Makai Lemon absolute fits the entire game. Had him in a cell block. It was crazy. But again, those are things that can be improved upon with the right coaching. How do you dodge your hands? How do you swipe the hands? How do you beat press? How do you beat jam? There's definitely something he's going to have to improve on. He's got the movement skills. The skills are there. It's just that when he faces larger, stronger corners, he's going to have to learn how to beat that. And I think that's something, again, he's 21 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So there's still a lot of time, a lot of room to grow. What do you think of Makai Lemon?
So right now I have him at number 3 rank wide receiver, 4'4", 40, elite acceleration, great body control, ability to change directions. He's good. So I have his positives and negatives as I have route running. Like the routes he runs are crisp and look good, but he's got limited routes, if that makes sense. A smaller route tree, but the routes he does run are very crisp. And obviously the next two will be his blocking ability and his physical limitations due to his size. That's just, you can't teach size, so you have to teach other things around it. And I think his positives are going to outshine his negatives. He's going to find out a way to play above his size. He's 5'10", you said 5'10", 5'11". He's going to find a way around being that small. And we've seen guys do it before. So it's not really anything I'm really concerned about. It's just like you can't teach that. So you can teach other aspects.
Like Enzo Amore, you can't teach that. One thing I forgot to mention, extremely good after the catch, too. Knows how to he tries to truck people. It doesn't really work, but he knows how to make people miss. That's why he does get a lot of Amon-Ra St. Brown comps. I don't know if I'm there 100% yet. That's a tough one to be, right? But do you see, you said you have him at wide receiver 3. Who do you have ahead of him?
I like the guy, what's his name, from Arizona. And,
Tyson.
Yeah, and what's his name? I was looking him up last night from
Carnell Tate from Ohio State.
Ohio State guy. So I think Tyson's the number 1, and then Tate and Lemon are kind of like, I have Tate ahead of him slightly. Early, but
I know a lot of the top 3 are kind of all over the place for a lot of people right now, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, I really like Makai Lemon. I think he could be a wide receiver 15 through wide receiver 18, and that's great quality because you're going to get him in the early draft. And if you got a guy that's going to perennial, extremely positive wide receiver for fantasy, there's nothing wrong with that. I think he's a reception monster. I think he is great after the catch. I am very excited to see what Makai Lemon brings. And right now they have him going to the New York Jets. So I don't know if I love that too much at pick 15. I'd rather see him go. I'm looking at the teams here. Oh, God, I don't know. Maybe Kansas City. Maybe Steelers. I think he'd be a great Steelers pick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a smaller wide receiver who creates after the catch. I think the Steelers know how to work with guys like that. Well, not without Mike Tomlin, who really knows. So I'd be interested to see where he goes. I think the Steelers would be a great fit. What do you think?
They definitely need a guy, but like, who the hell's throwing on the ball? Who's going to throw?
They should fucking just let Will Howard try.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't think you
Yeah.
can take Ty Simpson in the first round, but
No.
that's just. I would just let Will Howard play next year.
You have to. You
All right.
kind of have to.
All right, well, that will do it for this episode. We had a lot going on. I hope you guys enjoy it. We are going to start our rookie profile series like we did tonight going forward. So for the Dynasty Dogs, Rich, you want to take us out?
Yes, as always, the Dynasty Dogs love to talk about mental health and men's mental health specifically. If you have any issues, problems, having a crappy day, having a good day, we'd rather talk to you than talk about you. So our DMs are always open.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing about mental health, real quick, that I think is super important. Did you see the interview with Liam Cohen after the loss or the late? I forget what her name is.
Yes, I've seen that.
Who was like telling him to keep your head up. You're the one, like Duval, all this stuff. And then she was getting a whole lot of shit for that. Like,
I didn't see her getting shit for it.
No, she did a lot.
Did she?
By a lot of other beat reporters, because she took their time and everything like that. Like, you shouldn't be a fanboy or whatever if you're.
Well, they can fuck the right off. How about that?
Yeah, God forbid you show a little bit of positivity to somebody, right? Like Liam Cohen's first year head coach just got,
brought them back from the pet cemetery.
Yeah. Just like there's nothing wrong with spreading a little bit of positivity for 5 fucking seconds, everybody. Like lay off her. I forget what her name is. If you see, just great all around interaction if you say it. But again, for the Dynasty Dogs, we will see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Peace.